Hi, this is Eric Hall with the Fuze magazine today, and we have the pleasure of sitting down to chat with Kevin Martin from one of the most prolific bands in modern history, Candlebox. Thank you for chatting with us tonight, Kevin.
Thanks, man. I like that, prolific.
We're pulling out the big words tonight.
I love it.
Well, let me hop right into our questions with you this evening. We have a big show coming up here in Utica. It's for our local sports team, the Utica Comets, and they're a fairly new team. That's actually, I believe, is going to be their third season. They just came off a finals appearance last year, so it's kind of an exciting time around Utica, actually. So
right on.
Now, yep. And our first question: you guys have a show coming up this Saturday, and it's called Panther. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about what they can look forward to or hearing and seeing from the band?
Well, you're obviously going to hear all the Candlebox hits from first, second, third, fourth, fifth record. We're excited to be coming. We love hockey, so we're all LA Kings fans out here. So it's nice to be able to come and play for a young team that's making a lot of noise and some great fans. And New York has always been one of those states that we've done well in, and we're just happy to be a part of it.
And you had to bring up LA Kings. That's actually who we lost to as their affiliate team last year, the Manchester Monarchs, I believe it was.
Well, it's not the Kings, so
I think everybody will let that one go.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, considering you guys come from LA, so. Now, well, moving on to the next question, we want to touch base also besides the fan fest as well. In 1990, the band Candlebox was formed in Seattle during the rise of the grunge era. Such bands as Sponge and Nirvana, and etc. This is going to mark a 25th anniversary. Okay. Now, have you guys slated anything special for the fans, or are you planning to before the year is out to mark the special occasion?
Well, I think that, it's the 20th anniversary of Lucy this year. October 3rd was actually our second album. So it's a little bit more of acknowledging that record than it is the first album or the career of the band. We have a new record coming out in March. So we'll be playing a lot of stuff off that next year and touring on that album. But, to look back at the 25 years that we've been doing this is it's exciting, and the fact that we're still around is great. We don't really celebrate, any kind of special occasion sort of thing. It's a release of an album, and we don't play the album in its entirety or anything like that. But, we do play songs that people haven't heard in a long time. There are songs like Butterfly Reprise and Become to Tell, which will be in the set next year, and things like that. But really, it's just about playing the show and playing the songs that we like playing, and for an audience that appreciates what we do. We're not really that kind of band that goes and throws a big party or anything like that. We're a bit more I think laid back in our later years of our lives, and a little more relaxed about what we do now. But when it comes showtime, that's when everything kind of gets started for us, and we've been known to switch songs around in the set and call out audibles and change things up a bit. So, it's really, you never really know what you're going to get with us, I suppose I should say, when it comes to the live show. We tend to just kind of throw caution to the wind and go with it.
That's awesome, because, we're huge music fans here at the Fuze magazine, and, we go to a lot of shows, and sometimes bands fall into a rut. They have a certain show they put on. They have the same set list, they have, the same lighting, that everything right down to costumes, everything else, and we'll stick with that for a long time. But it is refreshing to definitely see a band that do call out the audibles. So, kudos to you guys. Now, moving on to the next question. You and Far Behind were very powerful songs for many reasons. Throughout your travels, so much more has happened to the band. Since those songs were released, could you guys produce another song or album just as powerful, solely based on the experiences you guys have had since their releases?
Well, I don't. That's an interesting question. I think with You and Far Behind, that was a time when there was a lot of attention on what was happening with the Seattle scene and the bands that were coming out of there. I don't know if we were to release those songs in this day and age, if they would have garnered the same kind of interest or the same kind of attention on radio. I think we've written better songs than Far Behind and You, in my opinion, but I think that just there was so much attention given to what was happening at the time that those two songs seemed to really stick out to people. I would say that there's a new song on the new record called Alive at Last, which in my opinion far surpasses both of those songs. But you really are I guess limited to the amount of attention a song's given in a certain time. I mean, you never know if you're going to have a hit. You never know what a hit is. Radio is an entirely different format now. There's not the same type of attention that's given to the bands that get the the radio hits, and even when a band has a hit, it doesn't guarantee that the record's going to sell. So you really don't know. I think that all that I've learned over the past 25 years, I've become a better songwriter. Maybe a little more poignant in my lyrical approach than maybe back in the day. It was a little bit more simple. It was easy to write that first record because I had my whole life. To write it now, I've got a whole life behind me that I draw from for these songs. So maybe it's just a different approach for me. I don't know. I would hope that I've written songs better than You and Far Behind, but again, it's really where the song lands at radio and where it lands on the listener's ears.
And that's definitely something that's very interesting. There's 2 points there. Since the last release of the most recent album, Love Stories and Other Musings, that was back in 2012. Now this is, come full circle. We're looking at about 3.5 years later. That's even more time and giving you guys more experience and time on the road to go ahead and continue your writing skills and polish those even further. Now, like songs like You and Far Behind and some actually other songs as well are still continually played on K-Rock, our local station up there. Even set aside from FanFest and them sponsoring the event as well. So, just a lot of your music still, you kind of are curious if those songs would still be a hit today. They're actually still played very continuously at our local rock station. So, just to kind of, give you an idea that music is still very powerful. Now, going into the next question. Now, going into our next question, it was a good tie into with K-Rock as well. We've personally seen you guys play at K-Rock-a-thon within the past few years. I believe it was the last one that was staged in Weedsport, New York a few years back. Mm-hmm. And it was raining heavily, and the fans were slinging mud, wrestling, clothes optional, if you might remember. And everyone basically was having a great time. Did you guys partake in any of the backstage rain or mud fun at this event or at any other venues you guys have played at?
No, we didn't. I'm a total anal retentive person when it comes to mud on the tour bus. So no, we didn't partake in that, but we enjoyed watching. I'll tell you that much. I think it was interesting to you watch a lot of these young bands. They can let themselves go and they can run off and do those types of things. And it's early in their career and they're still learning a lot about themselves and the band and one another. And we already went through all that stuff touring with, Metallica and those types of things back in the 90s. So for us, it was really just a matter of watching them and having a laugh at how much they were enjoying themselves. But no, we don't partake in those kinds of sort of things. We're a bit too old for that now, I think. And it's better for I think everyone involved to stay out of that type of a mess, if you will.
Now, I was going to say maybe. Now, I was looking back through some of the venues you guys have played. I did see Woodstock 94, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go any further. That was a little back in the day. So, actually, I think the one I actually attended was Woodstock 99. That was just absolutely absurd. That's what happened that weekend. Boy, that was crazy. Now, moving on to the next question, we would like to ask a couple off-the-wall questions. The first one's going to be a multiple choice. Now, seeing that you guys are on the road constantly, what's the band's favorite type of hangout joints and why? Is it A, a fast food or a sit-down restaurant, B, a bar, C, bowling alley, or D, other, and what would that be?
Definitely be a bar. Nice Irish pub.
And you guys get into a lot of the craft beers and everything else, and
oh, totally. Yeah, that's Adam and I, the bass player and I. That's kind of our thing is test out every single one of those craft beers because there's so many out there and people are constantly coming up with new ones and we like the porters and the chocolate porters and stuff like that. So it's definitely what we would prefer doing rather than going bowling. None of us, I don't think, are very good at bowling, except my son Jasper, who just looked at me like, "What? I'm really good at bowling." But yeah, it's definitely the Irish pub. That's our thing.
That's cool. That's very cool. We've got actually a couple of breweries up here. We've got the Saranac Brewery, and we also do have Omen Gang, which is about an hour away. That's where
I know that one very well.
Yeah, they do some taping periodically over there for Game of Thrones. So, they're all great beers, and we got a ton of other ones in the area as well. So, you guys get a chance, definitely stop down to the Utica Brewery there.
So we will.
You're probably about 5 minutes away, lots away from it. So, I'm sure they'll accommodate you guys as well. So, yeah, we're going to move on to the second question. Now, this is another completely off-the-wall question. Is Candlebox pro Donald Trump for president, pro Hillary Clinton for president, or pro other candidate, or undecided?
I'd say pro Bernie Sanders. Yeah,
okay.
Definitely pro Bernie Sanders. Yeah, we like the outlook. I think Donald Trump's a buffoon, so that's just my opinion.
He's one of those people. Either people flock to him and love him for his TV personality. It's almost Reaganish. If not, it's one of those things. You love him or you hate him. And same thing with Hillary too. So seeing somebody like a Bernie Sanders or somebody else out there that does have a more of a blue collar, not a politician approach to everything is very refreshing. Somebody that really resonates with the people. That's, I think, what a huge thing that kind of drove Obama is that he was kind of an outsider. So I think that'll continue. We're not a huge politics-oriented magazine, but I had to throw that one in there. So it's election season. Okay, now we're going to move on to our very last question for the night because I don't want to take up all your time this evening. We did do a small little contest on Facebook this evening, and there was a huge fan out there, Amy Lawler, we know very personally. She's a huge fan of you guys and has been for a long time. She did submit a question, and we're going to go ahead and ask it for her.
Cool.
Now, her question's going to be, I'm sure there's many cities that you guys have performed in, and more frequently than others. You have been to the Utica, Central New York area many times in the past. Do you get to enjoy the cities, or are they just a quick stop on your tours?
It really depends if we have a day off or not. If we have a day off, definitely we get out. We hit the museums, like I said, the Irish pubs, catch up with friends. We have friends pretty much in every single city that we've been to, which is great. So that's one of the the things that we enjoy most is getting to see some of those people that we don't get to see for a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. So. But yeah, we do. We, obviously when we're in New York, we make sure we have a day off there. When we're in Philly, make sure we have a day off there. Mostly the big cities that, have nice museums and stuff like that, just to kind of, get your head out of what you're doing on a daily basis and experience something new.
Okay. Now, there was a second part to this question as well. Now, once you come back to, say, like the Syracuse or Utica area, are there any favorite restaurants, meals, or local beers, or anything else that you guys look forward to every time you come back into the area? So anything specific, like a certain restaurant or any type of specialty beer that's in the area?
Oh, yeah, when we're in Cleveland, there's this Irish pub we always go to because they have the best shepherd's pie. Syracuse, I went to a restaurant with a friend of mine, actually, who's a DJ there. She's now up in Buffalo. She took me to this place. God, I can't remember the name of it. a Thai restaurant. It was really, really good.
Huh.
But yeah, I mean, you search out those kinds of foods you like, and you know, obviously Yelp, those apps that are out now, kind of help you decide which one you're going to go to. But mostly, it's a you know, it's an Irish pub because we love you know, shepherd's pie, bangers and mash, and things like that. I mean, the majority of the band is Irish, so it's kind of in our blood, and that's you know, that's what we tend to you know, strive towards. And you know, obviously there's local breweries in every single city we go to that we like to hit. But yeah, it's a lot of that sort of stuff.
Gotcha. Now, there's a couple places, if I can suggest a couple. We do have Lucan's. It's a brick oven pizzeria, and it's right on Varick Street, which is actually right next to the brewery. And they are huge supporters of local rock music, original bands. You know, once in a while they'll have a cover band in there, but predominantly 90% of the time they have actual original bands playing every weekend, and if not, some nights during the week as well. So, you know, definitely check them out. They're going to be very close to that brewery if you guys get hungry, and the pizza is amazing. You'll be actually surprised. It has a very New York City-ish look and feel, and it's a very large place for the music as well. So, you know, check it out.
What's it called?
Lucan's. Lukins. Yeah.
Right on. We'll do
Yep,
that.
it's a brand new place in the past year or so. About a year and a half ago, it opened up. So,
Fantastic.
all righty. Yeah. All right. So I really do appreciate it. This is going to wrap up our questions for tonight. Do you have any last thoughts for the fans coming out this Saturday?
Last thoughts for the bands.
Last thoughts for the fans.
For the fans. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for the fans.
No, just you know, we're excited. We're excited to be coming back through the area, man. And thanks for having us. And you know, we hope the Comets have a great season.
That's awesome. We really do appreciate you sitting down with us again tonight. And this is Eric Hall with the Fuze magazine.